This program is brought to you by UCKG.
Hello and welcome to the Love Talk Show.
I would like to ask you a question today. Should couples fight? Could anything good come from a fight? And we know that every couple goes through conflicts from time to time, right?
Yes, when two lives become one, they start seeing the differences between them, and this can cause arguments. So you have to understand the difference between a healthy fight and an unhealthy fight.
Indeed, Anna. Dear viewer, you may be thinking now, is there such thing like healthy fights? But the answer is actually a resounding yes. As arguments between a couple can truly be beneficial at times, healthy fights do exist and they help us grow as individuals and as a couple. It is obvious, Anna, here that we are not talking about physical fights. That should never, ever, under any circumstance happen. We want to fight for what is fair, for what is right, for what is just, not to fight against your partner. Remember, love never hurts.
The problem is not about a couple fighting. It's about whether the fight will bring the couple closer together and benefit the relationship or bring damage to it.
For example, Anna, sometimes things get tough between the couple, we know. And sometimes it's so bad that one may even come to say to the other, I want the divorce, I want out of this relationship. And then the other one, instead of just agreeing with it and saying, okay, if you want to go, I will not get in the way. No, he or she will say, no divorce, no separation here. This will not be the end of us together, all right? We're gonna beat this. These problems are gonna bring us together. So you're fighting to keep your relationship when you have this kind of reaction. You are showing your partner that you see your relationship as something important, worth fighting for, something so valuable that you do not want to lose it.
Yes. Also, when we fight against emotional reactions, Edward, there were times in our marriage that I could have got angry at you and even say what I shouldn't. But I fought against my feelings and I did not react like that.
So you see, when you fought against your feelings, you were overcoming,
yes,
something that could become an issue in our relationship, right? So the fight against the negative kind of feelings, yeah? Also, Anna, to give an example to the viewer, for instance, when we fight against the negative trends, and nowadays, the world is full of them, that destroy relationships. Let me give you an example. You don't let pornography enter your house. There's nothing good about it. It's toxic. It's not a spice. It's a poison to the relationship, right? You refuse to believe that everybody cheats. There's this idea, today everybody cheats. You refuse to believe this. You fight against this. You fight against this idea that two people couldn't possibly live happily together for a lifetime. So these things, and this is worth fighting against,
yes,
right? These trends, right? I know the one that I will be with when I grow old. She's right here next to me. I have no doubts about it.
Now, dealing intelligently with disagreements is an important tool to develop a long-lasting relationship. Otherwise, the disagreements will bring you anger, pain, unsolved problems, and isolation, ultimately leading to separation. So how can you tell if your fights are healthy or not? Stay with us today. let's help you out with that.
For starters, let's identify some simple, useful rules to have a good fight. The first one is, pay attention to that please, don't shout. When you shout, you are not communicating in a better way. Actually, you are hurting the communication process because it's much more, the focus is much more on the tone of your voice rather than on the message that you want to bring across.
When a person shouts, shows that the person's not emotionally stable.
Yes.
Shows weakness, shows
immaturity also, right? So
very emotional
yes,
person.
that's
right?
what children usually do,
Yes.
right? Because they're immature. So even you are angry and you are upset, it's perfectly normal, right? It's perfectly
Yes.
normal. We get upset. We get upset sometimes. You know, we are here in the studio. Sometimes things happen. We get upset, but we don't shout.
Yes.
we don't get angry to the point of shouting. So you have to find a way to deal with anger or getting upset, but in a way as to not shout and hurt your partner, because in the end of the day, that's not what you want to do. So Edward, what can I do? Well, maybe you need to say, okay, we need to stop this conversation right now. I'm upset.
Take a break and go somewhere.
Which is perfectly
after
fine.
Come back.
Take
Yes.
a break. Take a break.
Yes.
Go and say, sorry, I need to leave this room for a moment. Go out. Let the steam breathe.
And there are
count.
times in our relationship, sometimes you get upset and you do this, right? You, okay, give me some minutes and you go.
Yeah, that's a strategy that works for me. And I'm
Yes.
not sure if it's going to work for you. If it does, please, by all means, here we are giving to you something that works for us. It works for me. When I am upset, usually being there in that environment doesn't help me. And sometimes I have to go out. Sometimes it takes 5 minutes. Sometimes it's less than that. Sometimes it's more. Depends on what's really going on. But shouting is never the right thing to do, right?
No,
There's
not at
nothing
all.
that will flow better with you shouting at one another. It's an unhealthy form of fighting. The next tip is don't ignore the problem. Do not treat relationship problems as you would treat a slight headache that many times you don't want to take even any painkiller. You just need to ride the storm. You just need to wait, and you know that eventually that headache is going to disappear, or maybe just need a cup of coffee or to eat something. No. Relationship problems need to be addressed, Anna, in an intelligent way. You don't ignore a sharp pain to your chest. You might as well get that looked at. Go to the GP because it may be something serious, maybe even a heart attack on the way. You don't ignore a bill that came in the post, because if you ignore it, your service is going to be cut off. The next bill will come double the value. So you don't ignore problems. That is not the smart way to deal with them. You deal with them, right?
Yeah, and some people, they think that, okay, I'm not going to talk about, I'm not going to confront this subject, this problem. No, but this is not going to solve by itself, right?
Yes.
And
but many times, you know, the reason they do this is because when they try to talk about the problem, there comes the one with shouting, with all disrespectful words, and all the things we have said before.
Yes.
Right? So the couple has to have this freedom, yeah?
Yeah.
To communicate.
Yeah, because I think also about the examples that you gave, some of the examples, I think also about rubbish. If you don't take out the rubbish from our house, it's going to smell. So if you don't talk about and solve the problems in the relationship, and even though if the other is not accepting well, okay, I need to talk to you. You come in a nice way and try to make the person realize that, yes, it's important to talk about.
It's about timing, right? I know that if you're stressed out, if you're involved in an activity that requires your full focus, I'm not gonna come to you and say, Anna, we need to talk about the bills now. We need to talk about this problem. Okay, we need to talk about it, but we don't need to talk about it now. You can even irritate your partner by doing this. So don't ignore your problems, but agree together, when could we talk about this? Don't just say it.
So the next one is don't carry out personal attacks. So when you are in a relationship and you have problems, the problem is not the person. You need to attack the problem and not your partner.
It's a way when I say, listen, you raised your voice at me. And I don't appreciate when you raise your voice at me because I'm not deaf. If you speak to me, I will understand. I remember this was in the beginning, I left some clothes scattered and the shoes and when you would treat me like a mother, treat the child saying, don't leave your things, that made me upset. But I remember one instance when you said, look at this. I don't appreciate this. I'm gonna pick it up, but I don't appreciate when you do that because you could leave it in the hamper. And I never forgot. You see, maybe you don't remember. Do you remember this particular night? Yeah. But I didn't forget because you were very rational about it. You showed me that you were not happy about it, but you didn't shout.
I did attack you.
You did not attack me. You didn't say, you lazy guy. You are a mess, Edward.
Always leave.
Yeah, you behave like a child. Maybe this is what you've been doing. You've been hurting your partner. You've been attacking your partner instead of attacking what is really causing the problem.
And this brings more damage to the relationship. More problems will come because the way that the person is not attacking the problem, but attacking the
it's
partner.
like the cut is open and I just get a knife and I make other cuts around it just to make it worse. We don't need that.
And in a relationship, you are one. If I hurt you, I'm hurting myself, right?
Somebody write that down too. Everything that you do that hurts your partner actually is hurting you. And sometimes hurting you even more than you hurt your partner. Because when the emotions wear out and you start to think of what you've done, you're not going to be happy about it. The next tip is this one. Agree on what you will do differently about the situation. So how nice it is when two can sit down, maybe after a poor decision, after a failure, something that went wrong, and say, hey, you know what? What could we have done differently? What will we do should this ever happen again? If you have in mind already a way that you have agreed on, okay, next time we need to be less emotional, next time we need to take action only the day after, or this is not a priority and that is a priority, we need to prioritize better. This is definitely something that will contribute to the benefit of your relationship.
Because they are learning together to fight the problem.
Yes, that's what the relationship is all about. Yeah. Growing together, developing together, you can become better individuals. Somebody write that down again. Together, working together, you can become better individuals and evidently better for one another, right? We have to go now for a break, but we have a lot more to talk about on today's show. We're talking about fights and the fact that there are healthy fights and unhealthy ones. How could a fight be healthy? Stay connected because soon we're going to come back and talk more about this here on the Love Talk Show. Dear viewer of the Love Talk Show, did you know that you can watch full-length episodes now via our YouTube channel? All you have to do, is to find the Love Talk Show YouTube channel, subscribe, You're going to find all our episodes there in full length, and you can watch for free. You can even copy the link and share with family and friends. But not only that,
You also in the social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, follow us, like, share, and comment.
and also don't forget to visit our website, lovetalkshow.tv. There you're going to find even more information that you will not see here on the TV show. And also you can write your questions. Send us your questions to the email questions@lovetalkshow.tv. All right, we would love to hear from you. Let's continue watching Love Talk Show. Welcome back. Fighting is part of any relationship. However, knowing how to fight constructively will bring you closer to your partner, and you will both achieve what you need from your relationship.
Now, on today's segment of Case Study, a beautiful couple has some problems and they need the tools to have a healthy fight. I'm pretty sure that you'll get lots of advice from this to use in your relationship. Let's take a look.
So let's have a look here at Alex and Dulcie. We're gonna watch, and at some point we're gonna jump in to make our comments on what they're discussing with one another. Let's see.
Why do you keep doing that? I don't understand. If I speak to you about traveling, buying something, you talk. But when I talk to you about you or something that's happening, you just shut down.
No, because I don't want to talk.
Okay, we need to jump in here because we already see, we promise, Anna, that we will always give unbiased advice, right? We're not here in favor of men or women. It's not about gender, right? It's about facts. We see, Alex didn't disclose what they did the night before, but I believe something that he enjoyed. We don't know what happened, but probably Dulcie is not very happy about it because you can see she's upset. But here comes the first thing. She's not talking.
Yes.
He is even had a nice approach. I'm not picking on you, I'm not here to criticize, but I noticed that you're upset. Tell me what happened. She doesn't talk. You want to talk about it? No. So it becomes difficult, right?
Yeah.
When you don't want to address the issue. It's like you go to the doctor and the doctor says, so how can I help you? And you say, no, I don't want to talk about what I feel. How can there be a solution when one doesn't want to talk? Even when you are upset or disappointed, you have to talk.
Yes, I see that Dulcie, she's using her emotions because whatever it happened, she didn't like, but then she, as he said, she shut it down, right? Mm-hmm. And then, okay, he wants now to, she realized that something was wrong. Mm-hmm. Now he is trying to communicate, but she's still not communicate what made her upset.
Anna, I don't know what's going to come, but if she continues doing this, I can already see that a situation is about to just get worse. Once again, remember, dissociate the problem from the person. Don't use emotions when you're going to solve problems. Use your reasoning, communicate, talk about what is making you upset, not in an emotional way, but explain to your partner what you didn't like, and you can come to a solution, to a conclusion together. All right, let's continue watching.
I asked you, babe, would you like something to eat? Would you like something? How are you feeling? Do you want to go outside for fresh air? But you just kept to yourself, and only now, after one day, now you want to tell me that, oh, you felt as though you wasn't part of it. That's not fair.
We need to stop here, Anna. Now I need to speak to Alex, right? Which is a mistake that men also do, women also. Now we understand the situation a little bit better, right?
Yes.
They went out together to be with friends. I don't know if it's just his friends or common friends. And he was having a great time. She was with him.
But
right?
she felt that she was not included.
Yeah, he assumed, he said, well, but I was with you the whole time. Alex, that does not necessarily mean that you are including your wife in the, because if you're there with your friends having, a great time, and we don't know exactly what happened, but maybe if she didn't know well the people that were there, she probably felt awkward, right? And this is important. The first person that you want to make sure is happy is your partner, is your spouse. So the fact that you're together in the same place in a group of people doesn't mean necessarily that you're including your spouse. You need to make sure. And he said, but I did ask to see if you wanted a fresh air or something but it goes deeper than that. It's not just fresh air or food. You have to see what's going on. Call your partner and say, are you upset about anything? Is it, maybe she didn't, I don't know. Maybe she didn't know the people, right? And it wasn't a happy moment for her. So the point I'm making is, don't assume that just because the two of you are together, that both of you are having a great time. You really need to see. And the body language,
to her needs.
Yeah,
right?
the body language shows.
Yes.
I know exactly when you're not comfortable. I know, and vice versa.
Yes.
So if you notice the message, the body language of your spouse, don't ignore it. Don't just look the other way and no, she must be fine. No. With discretion, call your partner aside. What's going on? Are you upset about anything? Would you like us to leave or anything? Both need to have a good time together, right? Both need to feel included, okay? Let's continue watching.
I don't even know if this is going anywhere.
Now you're saying to me you don't trust me.
But you gotta help me.
I've got to help you.
In that situation, you've gotta help me. There's things that you do that you're on your phone constantly, all the time.
Babe, listen. When you do the work that I do, what do I have to do? I've got to be on the phone. Tell me what I've got to do. Tell me what I've got to do.
I don't know, just show me that you're the right person for me.
This is where the video ends. And Anna, there's more issues here, right? Yes. First, she's telling him, you gotta help me. And then in the end, she says, you have to show that you're she's like putting all the burden on him. It's all your work. Not the blame, but I would say the hard work has to be, you need to show me you are the right person. You need to help me. How about you helping yourself, Dulcie?
If the problem is inside, as you see, this insecurity, she needs to recognize there is a problem, that is not the other person that's going to solve this problem. She needs to take the step to, I have to solve this insecurity issue.
Yes, and Alex, when usually a woman would say, you're always on the phone, you're never paying attention, I know we as men, we take the word literally, but what she's communicating is either you are doing it too much when she says always, or you're not doing it enough as I expect if she's saying never. So avoid, that goes to men and women for both. Avoid using the words always, never, all the time, because I know he's not on the phone. Alex is not on all the time. All the time will be 24 hours a day, and that's what he's probably thinking. I'm not all the time, but I know I need to work. I know, Alex, but listen, if she's saying you're always on the phone, that means put it down. I know you are busy, but as we said here in one of the previous episodes, I know you might be getting many emails and calls, but do you really need to take all the calls, especially the night ones? Couldn't you just say, I'll talk to you tomorrow? Is it urgent? Could you reply to those emails in the next day so that you're giving her more attention? After all, she's your wife, you're married. So when you make an investment on your spouse's happiness, you're making an investment in your own happiness.
And he will be helping her with these insecurities, because it's clear that she needs to work on, but you will be helping her.
Absolutely. So this is it. One helping the other, right? This is important, yes?
Yes. Now we will go for a short break. Stay with us.
dear viewer, if you are dealing with difficult problems in your relationship, such as
Fights,
or healing from a harsh breakup,
jealousy,
communication issues, or things of the like, come to the Love Therapy this Thursday and every Thursday at 8 p.m. in Finsbury Park, 232 Seven Sisters Road, N4 3NX. For more information, visit our website, lovetherapy.co.uk. See you here.
see you. And now let's talk more about how you can tell if your fight styles are healthy or unhealthy.
It's very nice. We have something very nice here, which you can even do at home, should you want to. We have these two empty containers, and we have these cups here. The red liquid represents what's unhealthy fighting.
Yes.
Right? Blue liquid represents healthy kinds of fights that can actually benefit your relationship. So we encourage you to do the same. Experiment there at home in a safe way. Don't pour the liquid on your partner,
Yes.
please. Right? But this is the idea. Every time there's a kind of fight that is negative or unhealthy, I'm gonna pour the red liquid into the tub. When there's a healthy kind of fight, Anna will pour the blue one. Actually, we have an image here behind us, right? As you can see, a couple. And what you do can either lead your relationship to a breakup or to a lifelong relationship. And it will depend actually on what you do. So let's get to it.
Yes, let's go.
All right, so the first one, you fight all the time. Healthy or unhealthy?
Unhealthy.
Unhealthy. So I pour here the red one. If you're doing this at home and you're fighting all the time, that's what you have to do. You have to pour out the red one in there. And as we just said in the Love Lessons segment, sometimes fighting becomes an addiction.
Yes.
And fighting for every little thing. Sometimes a fight starts and by the time they end the fight, they don't even remember what the fight was all about.
It's a bad routine that the couple are into, right? And this is not helping the relationship. They are not attacking the problem.
Yeah, you said it all. It's a bad routine.
Yes.
So we need to eliminate the bad routines. By the way, we have our YouTube channel. If you want to find out more about it, on the YouTube channel, we had an episode about routine. Good routine and bad routine in the relationship. It's a lovely episode. Go there. You can find, by the way, every episode full length for free. You can watch them on our YouTube channel, right? So the second one there.
The second one, you try to stand up for yourself and Phyllis uses sound reasoning. This health or healthy?
It's a healthy one. You
Healthy
stand up
one.
for yourself, right?
Yes.
And you use sound reasoning,
Yes.
isn't it?
Because you think and you attack and you see what is the problem. So you're going to solve together with communication. Wait a minute, this is not good for us. So let's fight this problem.
Yes,
right?
you don't allow these problems to just grow. You don't allow problems to thrive.
Yeah.
Right?
Or just put under the carpet.
No. You eliminate them.
Yes.
Right? With sound reasoning, you think things through. You don't act on emotion. So that's a very healthy kind of fight. You fight to use reasoning and you come to conclusions together, right? You compromise a little.
Yes.
And your partner does too.
Communicate.
Well,
Yes.
right? Very
The right
transparent.
time.
That's a healthy fight.
Yes.
So you give your partner the silent treatment, the famous or infamous, I could say, silent treatment. Healthy or unhealthy?
Of course, unhealthy.
Wow. So there we go here. Another red one poured out in the tub. In the end, you're going to see which side. Let me put this one here up front just to make it look a little bit nicer. Silent treatment, Anna. So there's people who have this habit of doing this. They're upset, I don't want to talk to you. And they think it's fair. Sometimes they have conversations with themselves, on their own mind.
Yeah.
The other one is trying to reach out, and the other one is just ignoring, saying, no, but she shouldn't have done this. Oh, he should have known better.
And I used to do this, right? I used to just be quiet, and when I was upset in our relationships for something that happened, I was just talking to myself in my mind, a fight with him in my mind.
You know what you know? Let me give you a tip here. If you, speaking to the ladies now a little bit, think, he should know. He should know. Maybe that's the thought you've been having. He is not going to know.
He's not going to read your mind, right?
Yes. You have to make it known to him. He's not a woman. He's not as intuitive as you are. So he's more like left side of the brain. Women are actually two sides of the brain. Even in one of the episodes we spoke about it. That's why women are usually better at multitasking than men are. But here goes the tip, you know, the silent treatment is not a treatment. It should be called silent harming or silent destruction or silent problem, right? Because you don't treat the situation with silence. You communicate. And as we say, there's timing is key, right? Yes. Knowing when to say, how you say. There's a way to say things. I can say it in a way as me accusing you, or I can say it in a way that really shows that I just want a solution to the problem. By all means, listen, cut your partner some slack. Be merciful, be understanding. Maybe you are demanding from your partner a level of perfection that even you don't have. You're demanding something that you yourself couldn't deliver. Could you live with yourself? I don't know. It's a good question to ask. I say this, Anna, I was hard to deal with in the beginning. I admit this here, you know, on TV. It was hard. I don't know if I would be able to live with myself back in the days. You're a champion. I have a champion here next to me because she was very patient. I was difficult to deal with. I was intolerant in the sense of, you know, any little thing I would make a storm, you know, out of a teacup, making big deals out of small things. But you had the patience, and you know, it was so good. I'm so appreciative of how patient you were with me, because later on I understood these things were wrong and I stopped doing this. So also give your partner understanding. Maybe there is an age gap, Anna, an age gap where one is more mature, the other one is immature, but they have to understand, okay, you know, she's younger than me, she doesn't understand things now, but a little longer, she will understand these things, or vice versa. It could be from the older gentleman or the older lady, but there has to be tolerance with one another.
What I was going to say about this, while you are focusing in your partner's mistakes or flaws, you cannot work in yourself. So you're not better, like as a couple, as in your relationship, because you're not focusing to get better. You're just point fingers, right?
Pointing fingers, that's not a good thing. So why don't you read the next one?
So the next one is you learn something about each other when you fight.
You learn something about each other when you fight. You already gave the clue because you're already getting the cup there.
Yes.
So
this is,
she already gave you, she spoiled the surprise.
It's healthy, huh?
Yes, it's a healthy one, right?
Yes.
Because what you need to do in order to learn something, you know, from a healthy fight means you're using your mind. You're not going by feelings.
Yes. You learn as a person, as an individual, right? Because you get mature. You're not just going by emotion, but you think, wait a minute, what can I learn from him? What can I help him to get better and better myself?
Yes, and I think it goes a long way to show that you are being a good fighter against your feelings and emotions that can really interfere in a negative way in the relationship. The blame game It's your fault. It's all because of you. You never get it right. You are always, doing something wrong. You guess at home. Should I put a blue cup or red cup? What do you think? The blame game. Absolutely. I believe you guessed it. The red one. Unhealthy. Anna, actually, finding who's to blame is not really going to contribute to the solution of a problem, but to find out what happened. Something went wrong. Why did it go wrong? Not who did wrong. It's your fault. Yes, maybe your partner made a bad decision. Maybe your partner really believed that it was his way that was the best and disagreed with you and said, no, we're gonna do it this way. And then it was a mistake. It was a blunder from your partner. But we're human. We're human, right? There's a song that even says, I'm only human, of flesh and blood I'm made. We're prone to make mistakes. We're human. So blaming your partner will make him or her more insecure. Because imagine, I said, I made a mistake. We lost some money. We lost an asset. Now, I remember, and when I just got my driver's license, I was 18. The first time I drove, without my father being next to me, because he was, he wanted to be next to me to make sure that I could drive. I crashed. It wasn't a bad crash or anything, but I hit the bumper of a lorry. It was kind of bad. And I remember I told myself, I'll never drive again. And, because it raised insecurities. I was young and I didn't feel that I was cut for driving. So when you are blaming your partner, that's what you're doing. You're making your partner insecure. Ask yourself this question. Do you want to hurt your partner? Do you want to humiliate your partner? Is that what you want? Is that what you want? Really want to make your partner feel insecure about every decision of his or every decision of hers? Because if that is what you want, then blame him all the time. Blame her all the time. But if that's not what you want, come on. Avoid this. Say, you know what? Just forget about it. It didn't matter if it was either you or me. You think I'm wrong? Okay, I rest my case. I'm wrong. I admit. Okay. So let's move on. Let us learn and not to do this again.
Yes. And when one of the partner is in this blame game, they don't take responsibility. The person is not taking responsibility. Just, okay, it's in your court. The ball is in your court. Because then the person is not part of the solution.
Yes.
Because just, okay, it's your fault.
Accusing one another. So, just to finalize this part, when you play the blame game, you never win. Whoever is playing it never wins. When you play the blame game, you're playing to lose. The next one?
Yeah. The next one, I'm going to, let's see if you get right. You focus on the problem, not on who is right.
I did this just to get off track here, just to
Okay, it's healthy, right?
Yes, it's a healthy one. You focus on the problem, not on who is right, which goes hand in hand with what we were talking about, right?
Yes, continue. Yeah, when you see in a lot of couples, they attack each other, so they don't get together, get the strength to fight against the problem, but fight each other, so that's totally
wrong. It's not going to help the relationship, right? That's once again being, when you talk about the situation, you use your mind, you prevail. When you don't talk about it and you go by emotions, you don't win. We spoke about this already, doesn't need much discussion on. So another one is there is abuse. Look at that, abuse, humiliation, name calling, whether emotional or physical abuse or any kind of abuse. Healthy or unhealthy, of course. I should put 2 red cups here because this one is simply not acceptable, totally unhealthy And as we've said before, when we speak about healthy fights, it's never about the physical part of it. A physical fight is never healthy, right? Not healthy physically, not healthy spiritually. If you want to fight, so go to a fighting gym or learn some martial arts or something if you want to fight physically, but not with your partner, right? For goodness sake, I mean, it's absolutely negative, absolutely wrong. And Anna?
And you should not accept there is a limit, huh?
Yes.
You need to love ourselves, so we should not accept physical or any kind of abuse.
And
right?
it happens, it happens. Because sometimes people don't draw the line. I'm not saying, please. It's not the blame game here. We just spoke about the blame game being negative. So I'm not saying it's someone to blame. Oh, so if I suffered abuse, it's my fault. No, it's the fault of the abuser. But if the one who is suffering the abuse will say, okay, I'm out. You don't lay a finger on me anymore, the abuse stops.
Yes.
And of course, speak to the authorities. Go to
ask for help.
Ask
right?
for help, absolutely. But you don't put up with abuse. You don't put up with this. Any form of abuse. This is absolutely wrong, right? The next one.
So the next one, you prefer the fight to take place in person. So this healthy or
unhealthy?
health?
What do you think at home?
What do you think? Dun, 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 dun. Yes.
Oh, some people may be surprised now. What is she talking about?
Yeah,
to
because
fight in person. What is
I
this?
think
This is
that
dangerous.
brought doubt, huh?
No. But yeah, it's healthy. You're right.
healthy.
And you will get to understand why, right? Because it's not good, Anna, for the couple to be having a disagreement. You know, as we are saying here, it's not about physical fight. But okay, there is a disagreement. I don't see eye to eye with you in this. So this shouldn't be discussed by text message.
Yeah, because today you have cell phones, you have so many...
Social media.
Yes, social media.
Messaging apps.
And nothing is better than talk face to face.
Yeah,
huh?
you know, or even, you know, a conversation over the phone sometimes is not the best, because when you're talking over the phone or especially sending text messages, how many times people send a message? And even a typo, because it went wrong, makes the message be completely misunderstood by the other one, and then a fight begins.
Yes.
So when you see that there is a disagreement rising up, the best thing to do is say, okay, if you're not in person, stop and say, let's talk about this later at home. This is something that we have to, you know, talk about it when we are seeing eye to eye, and have a rational approach to the solution of the problem, just as we have spoken previously. So the number 9 now connects to this one, which is your fights take place pretty much by the phone. Unhealthy. So I put here unhealthy, right? Because fights over the phone are things of like teenage days,
Yes,
isn't it?
I was going to say very childish.
Yes,
Childish.
it's immature.
Yes.
And you know, and then one hangs up on the other, and then the other one calls back. My goodness, it's something very, very immature, childish. Grown-ups don't do this, right? You don't need to be yelling on the phone at your partner. You don't need to be sending. I've seen, and I actually seen couples that actually send aggressive messages, even with you know, ugly things, bad words. It's offensive. It's insulting the other one. Evidently, these couples were not doing well at all. So disagreements, as we are saying, they should be approached in person.
In a rational way, right?
In a rational way. Keep to the facts. Separate the person from the problem. Leave emotions to the side, because you don't use emotions to solve problems. You use reasoning. The 10th and last one, as you can guess, so probably something healthy.
When you fight, you learn something about yourself, what you can do better, right?
It's a healthy
So-
kind of fight, right?
Yeah, you're going to analyze yourself, right?
And we spoke about it,
Yes.
right? We spoke
And be
about
better.
Yes, you know, you learn the more experienced a fighter is, right? Even sometimes you have, if we speak about sports, as you giving the example in the previous segment, a fighter sometimes is not as good as the other one, but just because he's more experienced, he learned from the previous fights, he can beat the one who is a better fighter, younger fighter, just not so experienced. So you use the fights you had for your benefit when you use it as a learning process, yeah?
Yes.
You sit down, you agree on how you're gonna have a different approach to every situation, right? So now what you need to do if you're doing this at home, or if you're going to do this at some point, is after these points, which by the way, oh Edward, I don't remember these 10 points you just made, so no problem. You can write to us an email and we are going to send it to you. Or when you visit our YouTube channel, on the description, you are going to find these 10 points there. By the way, Anna, people can connect with the Love Talk Show on social media. Facebook,
Instagram,
Twitter. Write us an email.
Yeah.
Visit our web page. Then you see which side is taller. The red side, so you're having more unhealthy fights. And if that is the case, it's leading to a breakup. You need to turn things around. Is it the blue side?
Okay.
Congratulations, right? Congratulations.
Keep doing the right
Keep
thing.
doing these ones and avoiding the red ones, okay? That shows that you are steering your relationship to success, yes?
Okay, it's important to always remember what we just talked about. Be respectful, stick to the facts of the issue, let the fight be about the problem, not the person. And fight should always take place in person.
That's right. Now, another important thing for you to remember is always give space to the other one for him to talk. This is very important. Now, we're going to go to a quick break, but don't go anywhere. Up next, we will be in a fight gym. Wow. What are we going to learn? What are you going to learn? If you want to find out, stay with us. You won't want to miss what's coming up next. Hello, dear viewer. We are here and we came in the middle of the break to tell you this. The best way for you to learn how to deal with your relationship problems, Anna, is to learn how to deal with
ourselves. If you don't know how to deal with yourself, you don't know how to deal with others.
That's right. That's why we have the Love Therapy. Every Thursday at 8 p.m. in Finsbury Park, 232 Seven Sisters Road, N4, 3NX, and also in some other locations. For more information, visit our website, lovetherapy.co.uk. See you there.
See you.
Me and Anna are here at Eddie Cone's JiuJitsu Academy. I want to thank Professor Eddie Cone for accommodating us today. We're also here with instructor Tig and Anna, who will today teach us some techniques about Jiu-Jitsu, speak about the art, and also give us some techniques on self-defense, because there are things we can apply actually in relationships. We need to protect the relationship as we need to protect ourselves. So, Professor, thanks for welcoming us once again, for having the Love Talk Show here at your academy. And I would like you to speak a little bit about Jiu-Jitsu and how it was brought here to the UK. You were telling me a little bit off camera here of the story. So how did everything start?
Okay, so Jiu-Jitsu, as you know, the art that we practice here is Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, which was developed in Brazil in the 1950s. Obviously became famous by Grandmaster Helio Gracie and his brother Carlos Gracie. In the early times of Jiu-Jitsu here in the UK, I was one of the people that was traveling back and forward to Brazil to train with the old man and his sons to learn the art. Fast forward 23 years, 24 years, and here we are in London with an academy that practices and focuses on the original teachings and fight philosophy of the Grandmaster Helio Gracie.
Right. So the art concentrates a lot on how a small person, right, can actually protect himself from a bigger one, right, or herself, of course, from a bigger one, right? It involves a lot of leverage techniques, isn't it?
Correct, yeah. The main focus of Gracie Jiu-Jitsu is and will always be, as far as we're concerned, self-defense. When we talk about self-defense, as you stated rightly, in relationships, self-defense doesn't just cover the physical attributes of fighting. There's a mindset here. We also cover health defense, which is the diet side of eating, of lifestyle. So it's a lifestyle. So the diet is very important to us as well. Mental self-defense, not letting bad thoughts enter our mind and us outwardly pushing them onto other people or ourselves. So self-defense has a very, very big spectrum. A lot of people only know the physical side, but there is much more to it than that.
I have to make a confession here in front of everyone. I'm a big fan of the sport. I practiced a little bit in my younger days, and one of the amazing things that I learned also is that the best fight is the one that you don't attend.
100%, 100%.
Yeah.
We're a big advocate of that. As a martial artist, as a practitioner, and as a teacher, we always recommend our students to avoid at any time they can. Avoid the bad foods, avoid the fight, avoid all of the negative stuff that comes with that.
So some of it you can avoid, like you can avoid diseases, the fight against diseases, if you eat right, if you have an active, physically active lifestyle, mentally active lifestyle. And there are some fights that you cannot avoid, unfortunately. These ones are the ones that, how do you deal with it then when you can't avoid a fight? Well, we're going to speak more about this, but first, we want to learn a little bit of the technique. Are you excited?
Very excited, yeah.
Have you done this before?
Never.
So today, she's going to learn her fighting skills. Anna's fighting skills will be shown here today. So we're sure we're going to have fun and for sure teach you some good principles about the Jiu-Jitsu art here with our instructors too, and also about love. So let's see here how we're going to do.
So today we did what we call our basic self-defense curriculum, or some parts of the curriculum of self-defense with Edward and Ana. Those moves are the basic, or are some basic moves which come from the beginner program. So from the time you walk into the academy, these we find are the most instinctual moves that they can play around with and work with and get the best results over a very short period of time. The trap and roll position which we did, which is when someone sits on top of someone else and they get rolled off. This is kind of what we would consider to be the worst case scenario should it unfold in a street situation. And then we progressed into the second move, which we randomly picked, which was the double-handed neck grab from the front. Again, a very basic position, but a very common attack that could happen to people. And we were showing Edward and Ana how to defend that position and escape with minimum injury to themselves, but maximum effect as in breaking distance and escaping. They then progressed on to shoulder grab, which is another common situation. Someone grabbing the shoulder and trying to pull you away, which they then developed some base, which we call base, good structure, good body posture. And then they retaliated with the shoulder lock. They then progressed from that to the hair grab situation, which was specifically designed at Ana, being a female with long hair. Again, exactly the same move, just from a different approach, from behind, grabbing the hair and getting the arm wrapped. And then from there, they went into two throws. One was a overhead throw, grab from behind, being thrown over the front of the body, and landing, obviously, as you heard, with a very loud bang. Which would hopefully repel or stop a fight, should it unfold in that manner. And the final one being, if they were pulled back from behind, how they could then turn that into an advantageous position and throw the person back into the ground.
That's the best idea to avoid the fight. And if you're going to fight, make sure you're fighting for something right. You're fighting because you're fighting for what is right. You're fighting because you want to be faithful, and you want faithfulness from your partner too. That's basically, Professor, what we're talking about in the show. If you're going to fight, fight for the right thing. But don't argue. Don't fight against another, because even when you're arguing or fighting against your partner, even if you win, you lose. Yeah, because it's both. But some fights, as we said in the beginning, are sometimes unavoidable. For instance, some people are fighting a disease right now. You didn't ask for it. It came your way. You're fighting because your children grew up and they are becoming a little bit rebellious. It's something. So I believe what I see here, Professor, is that Jiu-Jitsu prepares you. You know, you have this situation, you know what to do. That happens to you, you know what to do.
This is what I say, the defining thing that brings us here is Jiu-Jitsu. We all love the art. It's a lifestyle, you know? And those who embody the lifestyle have longevity. It's the same in relationships. If we're not listening, we're not careful, you know, can change the dynamics.
Yeah, it's right. So this is it from the Love Talk Show today. We hope you all have enjoyed, and we'll see you next week Saturday. Bye-bye.
This program is brought to you by UCKG.